This would be a hard thing to do if I hadn't done this exact podcast twice in the last 2 weeks. The Pacers do it again. They come back from their deathbed, beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Aaron Nesmith, insane. Tyrese Haliburton at the buzzer. Reggie Miller was right there. They lead the Knicks 1-0. Oh, so much to get to on today's Locked On Pacers podcast.
You are Locked On Pacers, your daily Indiana Pacers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What up, y'all? Happy Thursday, and welcome into another edition of the Locked On Pacers podcast, where we, of course, talk about the never dead, never out of a game. You don't beat the Pacers, they just run out of time. Indiana Pacers, who have done what I would have considered their comeback against the Bucks a once-in-a-lifetime game. I would have considered the comeback against the Cavs a once-in-a-lifetime game, and today they won up to both of them. They keep doing this. It's unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense. Down 14 inside the last 3 minutes, down 9 in the final minute. The Pacers beat the Knicks in the Garden, their first conference finals win in 11 years. Derek Kramer, who's been on all these post-game shows with me after these crazy comebacks, because he asked me to do it after the Bucks game. We said, I'll make it a thing for all these crazy games. It's his third time in the playoffs. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. They did it again. What a moment for the Pacers to start the conference finals like this. They're up 1-0. We have so much to get to. I have nothing else to say. Let's just get right to it. This started because Derek messaged me after the Pacers-Bucks miracle in the first round, and Derek said, I have to talk about that game. It was amazing, and I thought that was a once-in-a-lifetime game. Yes, Derek, please come on this podcast and talk about it. And since then, there have been 2 more once-in-a-lifetime games in 2 weeks. I don't get it. You don't get it. Nobody gets it except for the Pacers. They get it. They keep doing it. Pacers 1, Knicks 0. Aaron Nesmith, superhero, one of the best 5-minute stretches, not of a role player, of any player in a playoff game. Tyrese Haliburton, stones again on these step-back shots. It looked like a 3. It wasn't. It was in the air for 2 hours. It went in. It bounced out of the arena and came back. He does Reggie Miller celebration with Reggie Miller right there. He scored 31 points, all very poetic. The Pacers down 17 in the fourth quarter, down 14 with 3 minutes to go, down 8 in the final minute. How do they keep doing this? I can't believe it. I'm at these games and I can't believe it. In some ways, I wonder if they can't believe it, but their spirit is there. They never give up. You do not beat the Pacers. You just run out of time. Pacers 1, Knicks 0. Derek, thank you for joining me after my 1 minute what again. We've done this exact podcast twice. It's just ridiculous that they keep doing this.
Like I said, just continue the tradition. This is unbelievable. I can't believe that they keep doing this. Like, there are just so many numbers of like, this is impossible. Like, I think it was like 99.7% chance of victory or whatever for the Knicks. Like, those numbers are now meaningless.
Meaningless.
977 teams in the playoffs had won a game up by 14 with 3 minutes left, I think was the number. 0 had lost. 0. Almost 1,000 games. And the Pacers just did that. Like
the Knicks' latest 14-point lead came after a Jalen Brunson step back 3 with 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go.
Yeah, like I just rewatched the whole like last 5 minutes of the fourth, and it's just like there were so many moments where you're like, okay, that's probably the Knicks probably prevented this from happening. And then Aaron Nesmith happened.
That's what makes this one feel a little different to me. Like, the Bucks one was in overtime. They had played the Bucks even for 48 minutes. Like, it was realistic that they were fighting with them. It felt helpless at the time, obviously, but like, whatever. The Cavs one was similar, like close. They were down early, but like close-ish for a lot of the second half. So like, still ridiculous that it happened, but like within reason that the game should have been close. The Pacers had this terrible run of play to start the fourth. Jalen Brunson gets his 5th foul, and then the Knicks just go crazy. They go up a ton in that quarter. This one felt different to me in that it felt like over. The Pacers just blew a chance late. They were, I think the Knicks' biggest lead was 17. Yeah, six minutes to go. It was 111-94, right? This one felt over. And then to have what you just described, many moments, the Brunson 3 I just talked about, another Brunson layup, the Towns one, to me, the Towns cut when he scored in the paint after Nesmith's like 4-3, I think, when they went up 8 with 42 seconds to go. That one felt like it to me personally, because the number in my head's always been 7. That's what they've come back from the first 2 times. It just doesn't make sense. And like the other thing that you and I said the same thing how many times now, like every time I've done this, it is 2 things that make these possible. So apologies if you've heard the rant before. Here it comes. It takes Pacers taking advantage of every opportunity, and it takes the other team giving them a gift in some way that they have to take advantage of. There wasn't as much of that from the Knicks. They had
just like bad defense gifts.
Yes, they had 1 turnover, obviously, but they mostly just like missed 1 of 2 here or there. They just couldn't stop Aaron Nesmith. Tyrese Haliburton deserves the story because he hit the shot at the buzzer and did the Reggie thing and has done the final shot in all 3 of these. Like, that is the thing. But Nesmith's run was out of this world, like flow state, out of this world, unbelievable. How is this happening? And you know it, I know it. People who have not watched Aaron Nesmith this year don't know it. He is a way better play finisher at this time. The first of his crazy run, I'm so sorry, Derek, I gotta let you talk, came with 4:45 to go when they were down 15, 6 threes between then and the end of regulation. It didn't make sense. He made both his free throws. That's what it was just insane.
First player Aaron Nesmith is to hit 6 threes in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. He only needed 5 minutes to do it.
Needed less than 5.
Well, he hit the first one with 5 minutes left, but he hit the last 5 with 2 minutes left.
Unbelievable.
Or 3, something like that. But he hit 3 in the last minute. In less than 30 seconds.
On the move.
In less than 30 seconds, he hit those last 3 3-pointers that got them to within 2 and then put the Knicks in the situation where they did choke.
Wow, you're right.
Karl Anthony Towns missed the second free throw, and you could just hear the Knicks crowd. Like, when he missed that free throw, that whole arena was like, what the is going to happen right now?
Derek, now I have to bleep.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know if I've ever actually cursed on the pod before.
The moment needs it.
That's what they felt.
The moment needs it, though. Yeah.
And then OG does the same thing and misses the first one. And like, there's just so many things where it's like, oh, that was their chance. Like, you thought it was going to be the Nembhard steal again. Like, he was so close to getting that when Josh Hart
slipped. Yeah.
And like, Nembhard tried to reach out for it first instead of just like going for it. And Hart was able to catch up, like, oh man, that was the one. Or even the challenge when like it looked like OG was going to get an easy basket, and then he kind of lost the ball on the way up, and Pascal knocked it out. And even
that was the only turnover, and it was very close to not being a turnover, like milliseconds.
And even though like the refs ended up making the right call there on the review, you still felt like, oh, that might have been like them being able to get out and transition potentially and getting an easy basket. Like, that felt like, oh, they might have lost their chance even if they do get the ball here. And it's just, there were just so many things that kept happening, just like all these other games, but just especially the Aaron Nesmith of it all. Just incredible. When Tyrese looks back up at the shot clock to realize he can go back to try to go for the win and go for 3, that ball hits the back of the rim, and you're like, that has a shot. And it just feels like angels in the outfield stuff. Like, for that ball to hit the back of the rim, go that high into the heavens, and then just fall straight into the net was just unbelievable. And then you're like, what? It's only a 2? Like, and then you're thinking of Kevin Durant and that whole 3. And then him doing the choke sign, saying Reggie, pointing at Reggie Miller, doing the choke sign, saying Reggie, they choked.
And it was a 2.
And it was a 2, but it doesn't matter. Like,
but hang on. But people forget Reggie's shot that he did the choke sign for also tied the game. It did not win the game in that moment. To Tyrese's completely unintentional credit, he did not do that on purpose. Yeah.
I liked him recognizing that when Reggie did that, they eventually did lose the series. So he's like, let's not repeat that part of the thing.
Yeah, getting a win in this series on the road is ridiculous. Okay, here's some moments I thought the game was over. I'm gonna run through many of them. 1, Anunoby scored. He was on like a nice offensive run with about 7 minutes to go to put him up 16, and Carlisle took a timeout, and Brunson was out for that stretch. That stretch was crazy because the Pacers starters had come back in after the bench stunk to start the fourth quarter, and the starters stunk too. They were worse. They were terrible right when they came in the game. And so I thought, okay, if they just had that Brunsonless run to put this one up huge, it's over, right? It's over. And then they clawed back like a little bit, it got a little closer, but not really. It was like 14, 12-ish. Brunson's 3 step back with under 3 minutes to go to put him up 14. I thought, okay, like any spirit Pacers-y thing we've seen in this playoffs, like that kills it. The Brunson's equally clutch, maybe. That was insane, right? That one I thought was it. And the other one that will go forgotten is when Siakam missed a free throw, and then Brunson scored right at the minute mark to put him up 9. Again, that 7 number has been the number in my head because that's what their comebacks have been. That one also felt like, dang, this could have been 6. That feels like 2 possessions. Instead, it feels like 3. That one also made me think it was over. I gotta quit doing this with these guys. It's never over. I know it's never over. I need to get a tattoo of it or something, but it's just not. And all those moments, I thought it was. Even again, when Towns put him up 8, I thought it was over. But one turnover on the Siakam with a monster steal. That play on Anunoby was amazing. The Aaron Nesmith 28-second flurry, the missed free throw from Cat. And again, this is lucky. The way that Anunoby missed, being mismake, is huge, right? That to come and take it out of the basket, be able to walk it up. Like every single thing has to go a certain way to have this stuff happen. And it all sounds like once in a lifetime odds, and it's happened 3 times in 3 weeks. And for everybody who said, oh, the Mavs won the lottery, it must be rigged. The Pacers have won 3 games with worse odds than that since like April 25th. So do you think those games are rigged? No, you can see it happen. Shut up about the lottery. I wanted to use these odds to talk about it. It's insane. We haven't even talked about overtime yet. They played an overtime period, but that's how nuts the comeback was. Everybody, quick break to talk about the great people over at FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances like the one the Pacers just had, major momentum shifts and can't miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are going to show up in the biggest moments? Maybe Tyrese Haliburton. How could tracking their trends help you build your next bet? What would it look like to combine live prop bets mid-game based on how the action unfolds? If you got to read on who's heating up, why not back it up with a same-game parlay and $200 in bonus bets? Add to the excitement if your first $5 bet hits. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. The playoffs are going on, and if you head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet, if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. How about that? Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
That's a great point about the lottery. A great call. Like, yes, this is like 3 games. Like, one
said that about the lottery. I'm like, you just watched these games, right? Like, you've seen 1.8% things happen with your eyes, like this week, right? You saw it. Whatever. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, like this is like 3, like 1 in 1,000 ish.
Yes.
Things happening, and it happened 3 times. Like
plot armor. Like, the plot armor Pacers.
If you did the probability of like 3 1 in 1,000 things happening, it's like what, 1 in
you can do
what's 1 in a billion? Is that
9 zeros? That's a billion.
1 in a billion. That's what this is.
I'll say that. Let me push up my nerdy glasses and be that guy. A lot of those win probability models are based on historic games with those exact scenarios, and they've changed the rules of how many timeouts you can call in the final minutes, and 3-point shooters are just way better now. So I think those odds are wrong. I think they're too favorable to the winning team now. Nerd. But you see the stat that's like 977-0. Like, obviously it's still ridiculous. I'm not trying to diminish it. I just don't think the probability models are very good. But
the Pacers are proving that. Like they're 4%. Obviously not very good.
yeah. It's something like 2% would make sense to me, but it doesn't make it any crazier. Okay, let's go. They did in fact play 5 more minutes after Tyrese Haliburton.
Oh, can we talk about one more thing in the regulation? Like they ran the football play again.
They did.
With like
it didn't
15 seconds left, and they did a counter for it. Like it was new. Like Tyrese didn't go to where he made the game winner. He went to set a screen specifically for Nesmith to get the open look.
Yeah.
Like he went down to the free throw line to set a screen on his man. And yeah, those were the 19th and 20th points that Nesmith ended up getting because he got fouled.
I think they went a little too early. Like Myles started to run up the floor before Haliburton had the ball on the side.
They want to do that. They want to get going before they have the ball. But I agree. I think it was a little too soon.
It looked like they went a little too soon. So I thought, they might not be able to get somebody on the move. Nesmith caught it on the move, but the Knicks were pretty ready for it. Yeah, and they fouled him right away, which Look, it's the right play. I will defend fouling up 3 to the
That was
death
early, though.
as a math play. No, I don't even care about it. It's early. I'll defend Mark Daigneault to the death too. But I think it's soulless and it sucks for basketball. And the basketball gods have smiled on 2 teams now in this postseason who've been fouled.
Pacers got rewarded at the end for not doing it, I guess. So.
They did. Yeah, except that could have been stupid, right? Like that was a decent shot for a really clutch player. They almost got a second one.
They did.
Nuts. And that is a good transition to overtime. I mentioned 3 times I thought the game was over. When the Knicks started overtime playing well, and I thought they settled in after the like strongest possible hit you could have to your ego as a team, I thought, oh, they might still win this, right? Overtime starts with a cat jumper, and Haliburton's missing, and Nembhard's turning it over, and it's a 4-point game, and then Brunson's running ahead in transition after an NLB steal. I'm like, okay, they're about to be up 6. And then Myles Turner, you're welcome, Knicks fans, for this. I agree with you. Blocks Jalen Brunson's layup in air quotes. It was very close. I think probably should have been 100% a goal. Yeah, probably should have been a goal. And the Pacers get a 3 out of it. And that block, which wasn't discussed that much post game because of how much stuff happened, just the Pacers started rolling from there. And Nembhard scored right after and gave them their first lead since the second quarter with 2 minutes to go in overtime. After that block, they were very good for the rest of overtime. They had some defensive moments they would certainly want back, particularly with Brunson, but they did a pretty good job scoring basically every trip the rest of the way.
Yeah, like Myles didn't play and down the stretch. Like the Pacers went small.
Very
with Obi and
Pascal.
Pascal.
Very was confused by that, but it worked out. I keep talking. I'm so sorry.
You're good. There's lots to say. So the like it worked very well. Like the putting a non-center on Cat, like he wasn't as involved as much, even with Obi topping. Like you think you just like feed him the ball on the post against Obi, and probably good things will happen. Like I was surprised when the Pacers were able to stay in it, just putting in Thomas Bryant and Ben Shepherd for the first time all night with 7 minutes left. But they kept other starters in, yada yada. Anyway, Myles came back in overtime. He was not good. Like when he came back in, he made a lot of he missed an open jumper that he was nailing at the beginning of the game when the Pacers couldn't miss. Just an incredible start that they had to this game. And then he had a turnover right before the block that he got. And the goaltend that they got away with. And obviously that's a huge 5-point swing. Like instead of the Knicks being up 6, then they're only up 1 with Nembhard hitting that 3. And they even had to check if his foot was on the line. One of the rare occasions where it wasn't.
That 5-point swing neutralized the Obi missed dunk into Knicks made 3 that happened in the second quarter of the game.
Yeah. There were so many moments in that second quarter where they had hit everything, and then all of a sudden they couldn't make a layup, they couldn't make a dunk.
Nobody could. There was
just so many bizarre stretches for the Pacers when Brunson was on
something
the bench.
that we have to talk about. All right, Pacers fan who uses Twitter, lean in close. Look at me in the eyes. Or if you're listening in your car, whatever, listen close. Stop complaining about these Shepherd Bryant lineups that Carlisle does, because the reason is so that the ensuing lineup that comes in after is fresh and good. It's worked every single time. In the moment, that lineup might not play very well, but it works. The rotation is a full game. It's not that exact moment. Maximize the lineup on the floor at that exact time. Every time people go, what is this? What's he doing? And sometimes I question what he's doing, but then they win. And the lineup that's on the floor after has all this energy and is very good because of what they did. After the game today, Rick Carlisle's like, yeah, Ben Shepherd fought and was crazy good, and that let Aaron Nesmith be fresh for that closing stretch. Can we shut up for 2 seconds? I don't think it's perfect, but it's crazy that this keeps happening as a complaint every single time. Shepherd wasn't even bad. He missed a corner 3, but was largely pretty good. And whatever. Makes me mad. Biggest play of overtime that will not get talked about. The Obi Toppin tip dunk rebound after Haliburton missed a 3. That was a humongous play in this game.
Yeah, Haliburton had that open 3, and but then Obi just slammed it home.
They were losing at that moment.
Incredible. He had the huge dunk at the end of overtime that could have been an and one easily.
Should have been.
About Ben Shepherd, I was guilty of that. I always am. I just need to trust the process, I guess. But
they won his minutes by 14. What are we complaining
about? They did. It felt like this was let's just let Jalen Brunson get into a rhythm at first. He hit a big 3 on him. He was getting good looks, but he did just enough to bother him enough. And he was able to give Nembhard some rest while he had 5 fouls. He soaked up some possessions against Brunson with Nesmith having 5 fouls. Both of those guys avoiding fouling out was absolutely critical in this game.
Yep.
He ran a little small pick and roll with Ty, and like he assisted one of Neesmith's threes. Like I think that was like his one stat other than the missed corner three.
If they made fight through screens a box score stat, he would have quite a few of those.
True.
Team high.
Plays hard stats.
That's why he plays, man. I mean, it's true. Yeah, the Obi dunk was huge, especially because Brunson had just the first free throws were a shooting foul. So then when Haliburton knocked him over, I don't know what the perfect words to say about that one. Sent him to the line because they were in the bonus now. It's like, okay, like Brunson's rolling, you got to do something. Huge play from Toppin, and then Brunson scored again, and then they just kept getting to the rim. That's what made their overtime so impressive, like cuts, drives, whatever. It wasn't just like working through the offense, just someone just kept finding space. They made all the layups. And then the big stop that sealed the game, Nembhard read Brunson's move perfectly to get a hand on the ball. And this is why you tip these, even if it's like you have no chance of actually getting the steal. You just never know where it's going to bounce. You never know what's going to happen. Brunson instinctively reaches for it for just a smidge. Ball game. He tips it out of bounds. Credit Andrew Nembhard for going, he touched it. Review. One, because of that. And two, because you have to challenge at that moment. Pacers did, got it right. Huge play. And then they put it away, and I'll let you describe it with, which seems like you maybe should just let them value, but a very emphatic, awesome ending dunk from Obi Toppin that was very fun to see him do against a crowd that was booing him when he checked in. Why do Knicks fans hate Obi Toppin? Wasn't he like kind of okay here?
It's always interesting. I think they dislike that he tries to do cool things now that he's in another team's uniform. Like they love when he missed dunks. Like when he missed that
that was crazy.
The legs dunk in Madison Square Garden before. They were a big roar from the crowd when he missed that dunk today. But yeah, it's kind of like the moments you would see from Russell Westbrook, like late where he goes for a layup when they're up one, and then it's often a miss. But Obi is at least able to get up much higher than Westbrook at this point in his career. And just an incredible play. Like you're kind of surprised. Like you think if Obi gets the ball, that's probably a guy that you're willing to live with shooting free throws. Even if you want to try to like trap and get a steal, like they didn't really do that either. They just kind of let them run a pick and roll and then just had Obi wide open rolling to the rim with Bridges there to try to stop him. And like Bridges tried to foul him then, but like it didn't matter. Like
it all kind of felt like it was happening in slow motion to me. We're like, Obi caught it, and the Knicks thought, do we foul him now? And then they kind of like defended him in a way where they expected him to dribble up towards half court to chew clock and then maybe trap him up there. And then Obi realized he could just dribble towards the rim. And then Mikal Bridges came down. I thought, oh man, like he could actually contest this, and he did contest it. He fouled him, but Obi like floats on some of these dunks. Like it felt like he was in the air for forever on that one. That put him up 3. They could have fouled. There was like 15 seconds left.
It reminds me of the Gary Trent play. Like Trent had the same opportunity that Obi did. Like he caught the ball, similar position, could have dribbled towards the rim, but he didn't, and then ends up turning the ball over. But Obi just gets the ball on the catch, on the roll, goes straight to the rim, finishes it.
Brunson's 3 with 11 seconds left was a pretty good look. Getting a 3 off it all is huge. The Cat
had a huge one too.
Yeah, the Cat 3 after that, they got the offensive rebound. That's just like inertia. The Knicks made a million of those. Deuce McBride hits that offensive rebound 3 twice in this game. It felt like I thought it's going in, right? It's gotta. They earned 2 good threes. They did not. And then somehow the fight for the rebound took like 5.5 seconds, which sealed the game for the Pacers.
It's incredible.
I'd
say one thing, like the Knicks got 2 amazing looks, and they were both short at the end of the game. Like the fact that you can talk about the wear down effect, like
bingo. The
Knicks aren't playing a lot of players. Like they get to the point in that 53rd minute of the game with the Pacers constantly pressuring them, and both Brunson and Cat were short on those threes, and you didn't see them take a lot of like long jumpers in the end of the game. So another good sign, like in terms of going in a long series, that it's every other day they're going to be playing games. And if the Knicks like legs already looked a little worn down at the end of game 1, that's probably feels like a good sign for the Pacers.
I want to do a couple minutes on like the rest of the game, but before that, I just have to ask you this: how does this keep happening? Like, is this actually something about the Pacers? So the reason I asked that is like I was talking to somebody after the game down here. When Cat and OG are at the line, and they've watched their lead go from whatever 17-4, are they like, is this really going to happen to us now? Like, is there something about the Pacers doing this before that seeps into this? Like, how does this keep happening? I know that there's something about the Pacers that makes them hard to actually vanquish, but this shouldn't like be possible, but it is. It keeps happening.
I don't know. Like I said last time, every time it happens, like your confidence builds that you can do it again. And it's just
have confidence.
It's compounding. It's compounding and compounding, but it shouldn't matter this much that it keeps happening. Like we said, like if you took the odds that maybe you don't agree with, like whatever you want to say the odds are.
Still crazy.
It's 1 in a million at minimum, like that they would win all 3 of these games. Just absolutely insane. Like just pure resilience. Like you just can't say it any other way. There's so many incredible moments in all of these games. For each one of these to like be tie moments at the end too, to clinch it is just incredible that it's always him. It's always Haliburton, as they say.
I made my thing in the Cleveland game when I said, I get that it's always Haliburton, but also like it's always Nesmith should be a thing. Holy cow. What a prescient tweet. Oh my God. Home run.
Oh,
home run.
It's always everybody. Like that's the thing. Like
so
Nembhard's always making at least one play. He had the tip off of a Brunson on defense. He almost had the steal again for the 3rd straight one of these. Like he had multiple huge baskets in overtime. The 3 he went right at Brunson a couple times. Well, since he had 5 fouls, they like really leaned into him, making a lot of plays in overtime. Had the huge drive, the cut to get by Josh Hart, and Ty just hits him right in stride at the perfect moment. Just everybody's making plays. Myles Turner, even though he wasn't good in the overtime, like he made up for it with that one huge play where he hustles back to give himself a chance to earn like that hard call to make for the referee and blocks the shot on Brunson. Obi Toppin, huge plays. Pascal, huge steal to get that ball when OG kind of lost it. Just everybody that was on the court just continues to chip in. It's so impressive what this team's been able to do.
If you would like to agree with me that the odds are junk, even if you say there's a 5% chance they won every single one of these games, that's still a 0.0125% chance they win all 3. That's still insane, right? Like it doesn't make sense. And they did it. Okay, well, let's briefly talk about the rest of the game. I'll do the rest of this tomorrow. They did win. They shot well. They were on fire early. I think they will be happy. I think the Pacers will walk away, even though it took a miracle, happy with their offense, right? They mostly got decent looks throughout the game. Their flow was pretty good. I think they're going to be like, oh boy, we got to really fix some defensive things in this game, because the Knicks got equally awesome shots for a lot of the game. Their star players were fantastic. The Pacers cross-matching was, I did mention the Nesmith part of it yesterday. I didn't expect them to do that. They put Nesmith on Brunson and everything kind of snowballed from there. Like 78 combined for Cat and Brunson. Got to be better there. A lot of 2-on-2 guarding. They really need to clean up the defense. Even though they won the possession battle, they really need to do better on the glass. There's some obvious stuff to fix, right? And that's why they were down 14 with 3 minutes to go. I think defense is the name of the game for their looking ahead, because yes, they won. Their offense was good. They still were down because of that.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of the odd way that the Brunson foul trouble and the non-Brunson minutes kind of help them. Like that was their best defensive group.
Yep.
And that did like cause problems for the Pacers. Like they're obviously a better team with Brunson on the floor. He's an incredible player, but that was a huge reason they went on that run. Like they figured out how to play defense for like 4 minutes and just destroyed the Pacers for that stretch. And like the Pacers can't lose those minutes. Like there was the same.
No.
Especially like that. Like it was like an 11-1 run at one point in the second quarter. I don't know if it got worse than that, but like that was the first time where the Knicks really got going, was the start of that second quarter when Brunson was on the bench. And then the same thing happens in the fourth quarter when you like think, oh, this is the Pacers' chance to kind of get something moving. And then the Knicks just like went crazy for that stretch. Obviously Mitchell Robinson, like huge factor. He was so good in that first half, especially.
Yeah.
Just like every rebound. He's so impressive. with like how he's able to just predict where that ball is going to go. And then
I knew the Pacers could tell you was a problem because they were like, oh crap. They changed their rotation with Thomas Bryant earlier because he was already feasting that hard on the glass. And it didn't help. Thomas Bryant couldn't do it either.
Yeah, it did not matter. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting moment. Like they had Ty mic'd up for the game on the broadcast. Like one of the things they showed, he was like, I love Mitchell Robinson. Like it's just one of those things you never hear like during a game from one of those mic'd up moments. Like he was really impressed. I think it was like one of the ones where he blocked Ty's shot or maybe got a finger on one of his threes that fell way short. Yeah, it was just he's a very impressive player. Like I kept hearing the broadcast say, I don't have the stats in front of me, but the Pacers actually did end up doing a lot of damage on the offensive glass, and I think they had more second chance points. The broadcast kept saying that at least.
13 to 11 in offensive rebounds.
Yeah, so it's like somehow they did enough on that end to make them pay. Obi had the big dunk. I think Thomas Bryant had one at one point. Yeah, like Ben Mathurin I think he had a big offensive rebound as well. Yeah, there's so many things happened in that game. Like I'm still like trying to catch my breath from that. I don't know.
Like 3 hours. No, it hasn't. It's been a long time.
I don't know. I don't know if my heart's going to make it through this playoffs. It's just it's nuts.
They have the plot armor, man. Like they're undefeated in clutch games. I thought that was going to be over tonight.
Like Haliburton's was 10 for 11 after the last big shot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how many he took tonight, but I feel like he took more than just the one under 2 minutes. Because I think he had I don't know when the layup that he had that he
wasn't the 10 for 11 to tie or take the lead.
Yeah, but I think he did. I think they took the lead on the one in overtime too. So he might be 12 for 13 if the time.
No, but he missed a 3 in overtime.
He missed a 3, so then he
12
might
for
be
14 maybe. Yeah, we could work backwards. Doesn't matter. So a lot of good. Look, they won. Their offense was good. They only had 7 turnovers. I think that was huge when the rebounding battle didn't go their way. They talked about this stuff. Like it's obvious. We'll have more on this tomorrow when they have practice. We could talk to the team, but defense, rebounding, keep the fouls down to the extent that you can. I think more of the plays are fouls than the fans give them credit for. Not all of them, obviously, but there was the one I put one in my notes. I put one foul in my notes but I hate this one in the NBA in general. The one where Mathurin is running next to Brunson. That one I was like what did Ben Mathurin do wrong there? They got to defend better in general. Like it should have been a sign when the Pacers were shooting 80% in the first quarter and they were up 2. It should, oh boy, they've got to figure out a lot of stuff that we thought they might have to figure out. The standout thing to me that's funny is we all debated the pace part of this. It felt like both teams played offense at their own pace. Like the game felt really crazy and fast, and it was like this favors the Pacers, but it felt like the Pacers' possessions were fast and the Knicks were slow in a way that both teams were kind of happy with, right? So it was very interesting the way it kind of settled in as a game.
Yeah, neither team could play any defense at all for most of this, especially the first half. It was like whichever team figures out how to get stops first is probably going to win this game, and it felt like that was the case in the fourth quarter when the Knicks kind of started to run away with it. But yeah, the start of this game felt like it was a continuation of Game 7. Like, are the Pacers going to break their own record with their best shooting playoff game? Like they weren't missing anything to start, but they couldn't get any stops either.
In between their 5-quarter run of playoff brilliance and MSG, they had their worst shooting game of the season here in the second game of the year.
Right. Yeah. And Tyrese had 0 points. Yeah. I guess if you're going to have a bad one, that's the time to do it in early November.
What a night. 31 for Haliburton with Reggie right there. That's cool. Reggie and Haliburton locking eyes. That's cool. The fan next to me telling me he brought his girlfriend and she's only allowed to come back if they win. So he was all amped when they were up 14. And now he can't bring his girlfriend any more games. A lot of fans left when they were up big. A lot of fans left after Obi's dunk.
Oh,
what a crazy game.
Shout out setting the pace. The curse is broken.
The curse is broken. You know how the curse broke? Because I met Facci today, baby. Let's go. By complete accident. I went out to go to the bathroom at halftime. I see one guy in a Pacers jersey. The first one I've seen all day. Lo and behold, it's so Facci. It's Facci. It was awesome.
What a great way for the curse to be broken. That's
we did it. I want no credit. I want him to get all the credit. To come to this game in this environment wearing a Reggie Miller pinstripe jersey takes a lot of stones.
Yes, especially after you just saw a man get trash bags thrown at him on the street.
Yeah. Insane game. The Pacers did a lot poorly, but guess what? They're up 1-0. Their first conference finals win since Paul George was on the team. And now they will try to win 3 more and go to the finals for the first time since Reggie Miller, who was at this game, was on the team. crazy that those are things that we can say, but that is how this Eastern Conference Finals has set up. Derek, thank you for the time. I think Madison Square Garden is going to tell me to promptly leave very soon. So where can people find you and the things that you do?
Yeah, you can find my work at iPacers.com. Have some shirt designs up. We'll be working on some more after another incredible moment that deserves that.
Golly.
It's my duty at this point. Multiple people reaching out to me like, hey, you got to do this, do that. So got lots of ideas to work on tomorrow. Just find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, iPacersblog, all that stuff.
I met iPacersblog contributor Kyle Taylor today. Very exciting day to meet Pacers internet people for me. Tomorrow will be a
great piece up that was about this series. So check that out as well.
Everything he writes is fantastic. Back tomorrow, just me talking more about game one, probably from a little more of like, hey, like they didn't play great until they did lens of what they need to do better in game two, but they're up 1-0. They have been very good in game ones this year. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky. Tony Arise's podcast is at Locked On Pacers on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you all so much for listening. After another crazy game, Derek, I can't believe you and I keep doing this. You were supposed to be the series closer, and now we're doing like one of these every 5 days. We'll see you so soon. Thank you.
They can do it again if they want. Oh, I'm glad they do it again.